Hello, YouTube. We're on live on the video. Wave. Hey, Steve.
I'm just kidding. I'm just here.
Don't take that personal, folks.
Global. I'm just kidding. I don't think he watches the video. Does he watch the video?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hope
goodness.
he does. I miss you, Global.
Yes.
Well, try to get in some Whalers.
Yeah.
Or not.
No more Whalers. USA Hockey.
USA Hockey
Yeah.
or the Flint Firebirds.
They're not the Whalers, dude.
Yeah, no, I think I made that mistake
I can't
last
stop calling
week.
them not the Whalers.
Yeah.
Toledo Walleyes.
Hello, guest 2. We have a guest 2 in the chat. Welcome. As we're going to go live now in 3, 2, 1.
Talk show. Recorded live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 2 of D&D Sports Chat, coming to you live from the studio here in Garden City, Michigan. I'm your host, Derek Partin, alongside my co-host for tonight, Mr. Dan Bartley. Dan, how we doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. And in the studio, as you remember, a familiar face from the old D&D Sports Chat show, Mr. Steve Iwinski himself. What's up, Steve?
What's up, guys? Nice to be here.
Feels
on
pretty
this
good.
slushy, wintry Michigan night.
I'll tell you what, man. I was talking to Dane before the show started, and I know we were saying, like, God, in just a matter of a week, go from 65-degree weather down
Like
into
in
the 40s.
shorts, getting ready for baseball.
Yep, getting ready for baseball. Spring training is starting, and all of a sudden now we're back, and the tulips were just starting to rise and pop out of the ground, and now
That's why we love Michigan.
Yep. 1 to 10 inches of snow. You know you're in trouble. You're in pure Michigan when they start predicting 1 to 10 inches of snow. They can't even predict an accurate amount of snow. It's crazy.
Unfortunately.
We'll call it. Get Tom in here.
Yeah, where's Dapper Tom? Dapper Tom. Yeah, Dapper Tom needs, I think, call in if we start having like weird weather
He's
this.
busy with the Weather Channel.
Yeah, he's got to be watching the Weather Channel. But hey, go to Dapper Tom's
He's
weather.
going to be on the Weather Channel tonight.
Yeah.
at
He's on the
9:30.
Weather Channel, 8:30.
We'll give Dapper Tom a little plug here.
Weather
on D&D.
Underground.
Yeah, Weather Underground. Be sure to check
Good
out
for
the
him.
Weather Channel tonight.
Yeah.
You know what time that's going to be?
8:30 he'll be on.
8:30 tonight. All right. Yeah, definitely got to keep an eye out for Dapper Tom, our local weatherman. Trust me, he's very, very accurate. I trust Tom. So, Danny, why don't you start off tonight here with our Red Wing news, and you have a little something to say before our segment?
Detroit Red Wings segment presented by J&J Taxes and More. For D&D Sports Chat listeners only, 1040 easy forms, federal and state are just $40. What a special deal.
Absolutely.
Call 734-523-8291. Weekend appointments are available. You must mention D&D Sports Chat for this special offer.
And I can attest to J&J Taxes. I have my taxes done there. Steve, I know you have yours done. Joe's wonderful, very efficient, very reasonable price. I highly recommend J&J Taxes. So definitely, it's tax season, and that's the guy to go to. Definitely, Mr. Joe Bartley. So the Red Wings last night finally got out of their little losing funk. They dropped their 4-game skid. They finally beat the Blue Jackets in a shootout, surprisingly, 2-1. Andreas Athanasiou, very, very nice deke there to get the win.
Happy to see you.
Happy to see, and to see you. Happy to see you. To break this skid, I think it's important for two things. Obviously, to kind of get the monkey off our back, and also for Peter Mrazek, because he stood on his head, made 28 saves for the Red Wings. Definitely, he made some really great saves also in the shootout, denying Cam Atkinson and Alexander Wenberg. Touch on this. Like, how important is this to end the skid for the Red Wings right now?
Well, for me to put it in perspective, Cronwell's back.
Yes.
You're going to be careful with Cronwell coming back. You're going against a team that's really depleted. Mm-hmm. John Tortorella is the coach there in Columbus. Very good coach. I don't think he's got the quite amount of guys that he wants right now in the lineup. Scott Hartnell's been a healthy scratch. Cam Atkinson is one of the most underrated hockey players in the National Hockey League that, unfortunately, nobody knows about because he's so under the radar because he's playing in Columbus. Columbus is not really a team that you can compare anything to. It's not really that, you're getting the monkey off your back, like you said, because Columbus is just a bottom feeder. They're not much really competition. You should be a team like Columbus, so actually beating them in a shootout doesn't really cut it for me. I was expecting a 3-0 shellacking. Yeah. Peter Mrazek getting a shutout. They don't have very much firepower. They're a team that's just really just kind of sticking around, hoping to get a draft pick, a good draft pick in the lottery. Columbus is not a testing stone, but I would say the next couple games, even though Colorado is not the best in the standings, they're still a tough team with Gabriel Landeskog, Matt Duchene, and then you got Monday, you got Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn against the Dallas Stars.
Trade deadline coming up as well.
So you're going to have some tests, and then you're going to have Chicago shortly after that. So,
what do you think, Steve? How do we look?
Trade deadline. What are they going to do there? Ken Holland is a master. Oh, I keep hearing that, but I see nothing, and I see an inconsistent Red Wings team. And you just got to face the facts. When you go in playing the Blue Jackets, you expect, like Danny said, 3-0, easy kind of game. Yep. They were barely holding on to that game. They were lucky to win that game in a shootout. I thought they were going to lose again in the shootout.
They're lucky they had Peter Mrazek. They're lucky that he was able to kind of, he's had two.
We have no offense, like you said earlier. Where's Nyquist? Yeah. Where's Tatar? Where's Larkin's kind of getting over his sickness? I think I've heard. So it just. We need to get all of our guys on firing on all cylinders if we want to make a playoff push. That's all I got to say.
For being a team right now that is currently third in their division, I mean, they have a reasonable record. They're 30-20-11. That's decent. But they're a -5 in goal differential. When you have, more goals allowed than scored, that's a trouble. That spells trouble right there. And it makes me kind of worried for the long run. Thank God, we've mentioned this in past episodes, is that thank God for Peter Mrazek because he's keeping us in there. Our defense stepped up in this game, but yeah, there's no reason why we should be going to a shootout against Columbus. They're bottom feeders, as you said.
They are, and the reason why the Wings are where they are is because of number 71 and Peter Mrazek, hands down. Without those two guys, without the emergence of Dylan Larkin, this team would be likely in the bottom, fighting for a playoff spot, probably not even having an opportunity to make it, not even contend. This team is not a lock for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's too close right now.
And
very
right
close.
now, I know there's a lot of publicity in what's going to happen with the trade deadline. And I'm going to be the first one to say this, and I'm going to make my point crystal clear. The Wings need to make something happen.
A big name.
Everybody's saying, well, the answer is in, Grand Rapids. Anthony Ciu is your next big player. Putting him with Larkin. Larkin's slowing down. Mm-hmm. Larkin's got the sickness, as Steve noted earlier.
Yeah, you're going to slow down at some point in the season. You're going to have your lulls.
And he is starting to slow down. Teams are starting to lay the body on him. The Wings don't have that physical force to kind of be the protector, to kind of watch out for Dylan Larkin. Pavel Datsyuk is, there and then he's not there at times. But the two guys that Steve mentioned earlier are the two GOATs right now for this season, and that is Tatar and Nyquist. They're Franzen 2.0 without the size.
Yep. And more consistency as well.
They're both guys that when they're going hot. Mm-hmm. But when they're cold, you don't notice them out there. And you can't have guys that are your top two guys, potentially with your scoring, and they're not putting the puck in the net. They're not contributing with assists. They're just out there going through the motions. You can't have that on this team.
With the trade deadline, as we mentioned before, approaching next week, you got to also think is that, do you think that as far as a hot streak is concerned, Peter Mrazek, we've mentioned as far as the two games that he's had, rebounding in this game, how many more bad games can we see out of Peter Mrazek as far as, playoff chances? I mean, are you allowing him to kind of have a couple more bad games before, the playoffs start? Do you have to roll with Jimmy Howard? Is there a point that you kind of let him on a short leash, long leash? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, Mrazek's it, dude. Yeah. People are saying, let's trade Howard. Let's trade for what? Howard's done.
Nobody wants his contract.
Howard's done. He's beat up. He's just been abused, and he's just not great. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, Mrazek's the top dog now, and we all realize that. And he's it. If he flops, and he might, and what are we going to do? That's all we got. And right now we're on a high with him. We'll ride it while we can, but Jimmy Howard is not the answer. He never will be the answer. And Derek, as well as anyone, I was a big Howard defender.
Yeah, defender, and we just can't do it no more.
Face the facts.
I mean, I know that we've defended Howard on multiple occasions as far as, not having a W since December 3rd of last year. And I know Danny and I defended him in a way like saying that, well, he hasn't played enough to really have that consistency behind him. But, I mean, he's not helping either. He's not helping himself. He's not making any cases to at least be a good second fiddle to Peter Mrazek. Peter Mrazek has just blown him out of the water. A couple bad games, so what? But I know I want to touch on, too, with the trade deadline. We mentioned on last week's show, we had a little bit of a debate with Chris when he joined in about the Scott Hartnell rumors. And I'm a guy that I still believe that I would not mind having him on this team. I think he would be a well fit in. I know that Chris had mentioned no thanks last week. I think you're kind of a fan of it.
I
but
have been a fan for
as
a
long
while.
as we don't give up too much for it, you're thinking about having to give up a guy like Mantha or top draft picks.
I don't think you'd even need to give up Mantha.
I don't think so either.
I don't think you
I
would
really
have-
don't.
I think that he's on his way out, especially with John Tortorella. You've
Yeah.
seen him last night. John Tortorella's been healthy scratching him. Mm-hmm. He's not well liked there with Columbus. He doesn't seem to be fitting in with the whole system, the Tortorella system.
Right.
So I would think that Columbus would be able to push that button. Columbus is done. They're not making the playoffs. So if you can acquire,
They're looking for draft picks,
if
I
you
would
can
say.
go and give them a pick,
Yeah.
second, third round pick, and say a fourth line, third line player in Grand Rapids, I would say they'd probably take that. I don't think that they're going to be asking for an Anthony Mantha, for a Tyler Bertuzzi. If they are, don't do it.
They're still kind of
Obviously,
far off. I think that they would want like more. I don't want to say too heavy veterans like a guy like Scott Hartnell. His age, he's middle. He's up there in his mid-30s. But do you really think they need to start building this team around more rookies? I would say that they would maybe need a few more power-hungry goal scorers, like a Rick Nash that they used to have. I mean, that's what Columbus needs, in my opinion.
Columbus needs a lot.
They need a lot.
Columbus needs a lot.
They
of
were
help.
there. They were kind of on the uprising. When they made the playoffs a couple years ago, they had a good team. It looked like they were built for the future, but they just, I don't know if it's coaching, goaltending.
Columbus has a lot of guys who are in the farm system. Kirby Reichel, who was up.
Yeah.
He played with the Windsor Spitfires. Had a lot of good games with Windsor. Sonny Milano, former Plymouth Whaler, he's in that farm system. He's one of the most skilled players I've seen with the Plymouth Whalers besides Tyler Sagan. But we all know how good Tyler Sagan is. But Sonny Milano hasn't quite panned out. He's not in this show. So his time is yet to take place. So Columbus is kind of that team that you're just kind of waiting to hit off.
Yeah.
Kind of like an Edmonton Oilers. They have so many stockpiles of draft picks with Taylor Hall, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jordan Eberle. The list goes on and on. Connor McDavid. And they still seem to
they
flop
still
every
flounder.
year.
Yeah, every year. That is a team.
It's remarkable that you can
Yeah.
flop and you have so much talent.
They're always at the bottom of the list. It's crazy with all the
just
young
tells you.
talent, and they've come. You've seen firsthand OHL, a lot of OHL stars on that team, and a lot of high draft picks, and they still always seem to be bottom feeders. It's crazy. Obviously, I touched on the big outdoor game series, the first one of the year for the Red Wings in Colorado. Kind of reheating a rivalry in the alumni game
That's
this
dead.
Friday.
That's dead.
It's
That's
to
gone.
Yeah, you think
You're beating a dead horse there.
You're not looking forward to that.
Unless I see a brawl, which I'm not. But
We were
I don't know.
or unless we were there because we
I
were there.
think it's dead.
We were there 3 years ago, and that was a great experience at Comerica Park.
Oh,
when we
it
got
was
to
cool.
see it. That
Yeah.
was great. But unless you're actually there in person to see it, I'm hoping that's televised because I wouldn't mind
It
seeing
is Friday.
it. Okay,
it'll still be cool
Yeah.
to see. I'm
Yeah.
not. Don't get me wrong, but you say the rivalry. Everyone's heating this up like it's a big rivalry, but
There's more, I think, of a rivalry in the alumni game than the actual game. Colorado and
Yeah,
Detroit, they're
right,
not.
yeah, I agree
Of
there.
course, they're not the teams that are back from the '90s, early 2000s. They don't despise each other. But Colorado is a team that, they might be outside the playoffs, but when you're in a Central Western Conference Central Division with Dallas, Chicago, St. Louis, you're not going to catch. I mean, this
it'll
game
still
really
be a hard fought game.
It's a
I
hard
think.
fought
Yeah.
game, but
and it's outdoors.
Yeah,
It'll be a little
yeah.
fun. It'll be
The
fun.
atmosphere is going to be. It's definitely going
But
to be kicking.
I don't think it's going to be a bloody rivalry. Like
Who you got in the game?
Take Colorado to win the alumni game. I'm
At
going
Coors
to
Field.
take Detroit to win the alumni game. Colorado to win the actual game. The alumni game could be good if it's comical. I want to see
Is that on TV?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is
I want
Friday.
to see
Friday.
McCarty and
Okay.
Lemieux. I
On
want to see
Friday.
it.
And
So-
Mickey
Yeah.
Redmond's mic'd up. He's going to have the mic the whole game.
Oh,
so it
Redmond's
should,
that's
playing,
gold
eh?
right there.
Oh man,
Yeah.
F-bombs by old
Right,
Mickey.
yeah.
Remember last game he was
Yeah.
it should be pretty entertaining.
it'll be
Osgood
fun.
Osgood hasn't said if he's going to play or not. I
No, I was watching the Wings game last night, and Ozzy said that he was like battling like a little bit of a sickness or something. Like he hasn't had enough like conditioning as guys like Chelios and Draper
Where's
and
Mike
Maltby.
Vernon?
I don't know. I haven't even looked at the lineup for the
I haven't
alumni
either.
game.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I believe you
I
got
know-
Manny Legacy starting.
Manny
going for you.
Legacy.
Yeah, Manny
Yeah.
Legacy like Eddie Mio or something like from the last game. But I know the confirmed names obviously Fedorov and Larionov and McCarty. We know is going to be playing. Eiserman's playing. Shanahan. So I mean, a
Joe
lot of big
Sakic,
names.
Patrick Waugh for Colorado.
Peter Forsberg, I think, is playing for Colorado too. So I mean, it's going to be, I think, a lot more star power than like when we went and saw Toronto. I know that Detroit had, I think, more of an edge in that one with their star power.
What
But
do you got, Derek?
I think it's going to be Detroit. I got him sweeping.
Detroit.
Yep, I got him sweeping. I think it's a bold
Remember,
prediction.
it is kind of staged. They are in Colorado.
Yeah.
I know. But
I think
we
Alumni.
we
I
lost
think,
here too.
Yeah,
We
I'm
lost.
thinking opposite of Danny. I think the Avalanche will win the Alumni game, and the Red Wings will win the
Okay.
outdoor series.
I think it's going to be a 2-game thing, like they did with the Detroit one. They're going to have because they have way too many alumni to play in one game, so they'll probably split it up. But I'm
I
looking
believe it
forward
is
to
simply
that.
just one game.
I'm probably looking forward to the alumni game more than the actual game on Saturday.
To be honest, I am too. I
just
don't,
because our
They're
childhood.
fun.
That's
They're
our
fun,
childhood.
yeah.
We're going to be watching, regardless if they're 40, 50, 60 years old. That was our childhood. You know, I mean, it's going to be great to see those guys on the ice again. And I was kind of shocked to see Yzerman come back to play again. I really thought that we saw the last of him on the ice back in 2013, but I'll be happy to see that. So that'll be a great, great game. Detroit Tigers. We can move on to our Detroit Tigers segment. Detroit Tigers segment is presented by Garden City Community Chat. If you want to know everything about what is happening in the city of Garden City, please tune in live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. right here on TalkShoe.com/TC/82757. For Garden City Community Chat with your host, the chatman himself, Kerry Partin. That is my dad, which got to applaud him, man. This is we're using his studio as
That's
well.
a good
so
show.
It
Great
is a really
voice.
good show.
Your
Yeah,
dad
very
has
good.
A great voice.
Good radio voice. He's been
Good
doing that
radio
show for a good 6 years
too.
now.
got some big
You do too,
yes.
Derek.
He's got
Yeah,
some great
the Partin
yes.
family, they got the voice for radio.
Yeah,
So
you guys have good
yeah.
voice.
So tune in live every Thursday night here on TalkShoe.com for GC Community Chat.
Look at all these awards in here that I got caught.
Yeah, I'm sure the
looking at.
camera can catch them. That Danny was so amazed by, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
where you just
I got caught starstruck in here apparently or something. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, it's great. You know,
Yeah.
Carrie's doing a great job for Garden City as a whole. They just need to fix some of these roads down here.
oh man, I feel like it's so crazy to think that they just, not to get too political or too city oriented here, but didn't it seem like they just did Merriman Road and it's already got seams popping
The
up?
back
like
streets around here are atrocious.
Craig's terrible. Farmington by me. I mean, yes. Mayor Walker, if you're listening, please do something about these local roads around here.
Wait, then kill the crickets.
Yeah, where's the crickets at?
All right,
dear.
then
All
moving
right.
on.
And moving on. So the Detroit Tigers spring train has kicked off. Pitchers and catchers reporting. Still, as we talked about last week, we touched on the Tigers, hit or miss as far as what the outcome is going to be. What are your thoughts as far as, pitchers and catchers reporting and
Spring
what you're
training.
seeing? I
Oh,
guess.
goodness.
It's kind of hard now to see about spring training because last week when we did our show, the weather was great. And now, since we're having this lackluster, slushy, snowy
They
weather.
haven't had a game yet, have they?
I don't
haven't
think
played. They're
so.
just
Yeah.
warming up, blah, blah, blah. K-Rod, is he ever going to get in with his
That's
visa?
what you want to touch on.
That's
Yeah,
a big thing for me.
visa
Like, come on.
issues for K-Rod. What's going on there? Did they ever get that resolved?
I haven't heard any update on K-Rod, but as far as we keep hearing, he's having visa issues. They won't let him in the country. Hello? I mean, what's the hold up there? I don't get that. He's a Major League Baseball player. He's been playing
here
in the
for
States
years.
forever. Yeah, he's 32.
33, I think.
33?
34,
I
yeah.
think they're just heckling
But-
him a little
Oh,
bit.
wait a minute. Breaking news out of the Detroit Free Press. K-Rod resolves visa issues, will arrive tomorrow.
Live update.
Live update right
Wow.
there. So he's missed a week of
All
camp.
right, he's back.
So, yeah, he's...
Well, here, let me ask this
okay.
question then.
All right.
Shoot.
How confident are you guys in K-Rod as a closer?
Danny, you start.
Well, the numbers are there. Last year, he put up solid numbers with Milwaukee. Yes, I know it was Milwaukee, National League ballpark.
We always talk about
whatever
National
it
League
is.
pitchers transitioning.
And that is me. I do have a little bit of an insight with the whole flaw of the National League going to the American League. It does concern me. I know I'm kind of maybe that's an old school persona that I have, my way of thinking.
Right.
But it still is a concern for me. I think that he'll do fine. I think his ERA is not going to be under 2, or it's not going to be really flashy, but he's not going to be Joe Nathan-esque. He's not going to
We pray.
blow 4 or 5 straight saves. He's not going to get booed out of town. At least you hope
No.
not. But I don't think that he's going to be rock solid 40 for 40.
No.
But I expect him to go, 33 for 37, something in that atmosphere.
I think I mentioned that, and that's what I touched on last week when we talked about, our rotation and our bullpen pitching, whatever, is that I think I mentioned that K-Rod is a guy that, he's not going to be like Joe Nathan. There's always that small percentage because when we signed Joe Nathan, heaven forbid, we never thought that we would see that implosion happen. But with K-Rod,
Joe Nathan is
he's
up there for career saves.
Yes.
And when you get Joe Nathan, I was ecstatic. I'll be the first one to
Oh,
admit,
I was too.
I was absolutely
Floored.
stoked that Joe Nathan was going to be a part of the Detroit Tigers. Yes, he's at the end of his career. Yes, he's riding off into the sunset, but you still think that he's going to be a decent contribution to the organization. But unfortunately, it was a flop.
Yeah.
And, I don't wish Joe Nathan bad. Like, I know he got blasted out of town here, but hopefully he can finish somewhere in the National League and just kind of disappear. Yeah, like Steve's doing.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That guard hit him a lot of fan hate. I remember when he did that last year.
He is a hater.
He is. And the thing about Joe Nathan, going back to him when we signed him, is that, we signed him as the Tiger Killer. Well, he did more than just a Tiger Killer as pitching. He also killed us defensively as pitching for the Tigers.
He served up some meatballs, all right.
He did serve up some meatballs. But going back to K-Rod, though, I mean, I can see him as far as his, ERA is probably going to be a high 2 to low 3. I can see 30 to 35 saves, blowing, like I said, I think last week, a handful of saves, which is no reason to boo him out of town by any means. But I feel pretty confident. There's always the pitching, as far as relieving goes, especially a closer position, is so touch and go. I definitely want to have high confidence in him. So we'll see how it all goes. Steve, what do you think?
I guess I can say I'm confident, but in another sense, I can say I'm also worried.
Yeah.
Because he's 34. I just looked.
Yes.
He's 34 years old.
15th season.
But, I mean, I just looked at his stats from, 2014 and 2015. His earned run 2014 was 3.04. And last year was 2.21.
Yep, with a .86 whip. So, I mean,
and then he also had 38 saves.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's got the track record, and
so
did Nathan, though.
But people are going to say
that's the problem.
People are going to say that the difference between
and
Nathan
like Danny
is
said,
NL to AL.
AL.
Joe Nathan was already here, so
he could have almost a high 3 earned run as a reliever, pitching 50-something innings. Would you say that's great? Maybe, yeah, mediocre.
I'll be satisfied with a decent season. It's not going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Satisfied.
It's going to be good. If I was going to rub
like
my
how
crystal
many blown
ball,
saves?
I'm going to say 5.
I got one for you guys right here. Try to answer this one.
Yes.
For all the Tigers faithful. I know we can't speak for anybody else, but for you two. How many saves roughly can he blow until everybody starts jumping off the K-Rod bandwagon, until people start feeling, it's Joe Nathan all over again here in Detroit, until everybody starts going, we want a new closer. We missed.
Steve says 4, but you got to give him a time frame. If he blows 4 saves in a month,
till June.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so you're going to give him to the All-Star break?
June.
5.
I'll give him 5, which will be that'll be all the saves for the year. So really, I mean, realistically, he's probably going to blow about 5, 6, 7 saves. But yeah, I think if he blows any more than 5 before July, then I think you're going to start seeing some turn. If it's costing
and who
us,
knows? They got a reliever from the Blue Jays.
Yes,
who's
Tigers
decent, but he's older too. He's 33. So.
No, we definitely our youth is more, I think, in our pitching than our current lineup is. I mean, the Tigers are still I wouldn't say that they're an old team, but they're in the middle. They're kind of like
we got Rondon.
Yeah, of course, Bruce
Rondon that doesn't know what he's doing with his life.
Well,
right.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a mess.
We saw what happened. Well, did he undergo Tommy John?
He's coming back from that.
He's got some issues.
He has another issue.
I think he's having some issues. I'm the one to talk.
Well, they sent him home. Remember last year?
And all kinds of different things.
But they sent him home for lack of effort.
Lack of effort. Yeah, I understand.
Mark Lowe is the guy we picked
Mark
up.
Lowe.
He's decent.
But going back to Rondon, I remember towards the end of the season when we were already clearly out of the playoff run. Yeah, they I guess came up with this thing that he was not giving his full 100% effort, and they sent his ass home. So. I mean, I don't know how to touch on that. No matter what your record is. It doesn't matter if you're 5 games under 500 or if you're 25 games under 500.
I don't think that he's going to earn a spot this season. And
he's going to fight for it.
Not until someone goes down with an injury, which, with knowing how the Tigers are, someone is.
Do you think Rondon will start in AAA this year?
Yes. I don't think that he's going to make a push for the Tigers until probably around the All-Star break, or until someone gets hurt. Blaine Hardy, one of these guys. Obviously the Tigers revamped that bullpen, and that's what we all wanted.
Yep.
We don't want the same bullpen. We want Albuquerque and so on and so forth. So the Tigers did revamp their bullpen. It's a new style. It's a new philosophy, what they got going on down there. Hopefully it works. You got a new closer that, we just touched on a few moments ago. I like change.
Yep.
Another big component is it's not so much the bullpen. It's the starters.
Yeah.
The starters have to make sure that we're not seeing these guys come in the 5th and 6th inning every single night.
You got to give them a break.
You cannot tax your bullpen like the Tigers did. You need to have starters go to the 6th inning. I know we don't have the Yankees bullpen of the three-headed monster.
Yeah, the
coming
dominance.
out there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But,
how'd you say that, Danny, last week? If you can pitch 7 innings, then what? Go have some donuts?
Yeah.
I like that analogy.
That's the Yankees, though.
Yeah, it is.
And they have that bullpen where it's a shutdown. Tigers don't have that luxury. Tigers have to, you're going to have Verlander go 6 or 7 innings.
Absolutely.
Sanchez has got to recover. If Sanchez doesn't have a bounce-back year, the Tigers are in trouble. What are you going to get from Norris? Coming off of his cancer. Great for him. Beat cancer. Is he going to be able to go the whole season? He's very young. He's got a lot of upside. You don't want to have him pitch too many innings. You want to you don't want to put the Matt Harvey on him and have it slow him down, but you don't want him to go that many innings.
Coming out of, we already pretty much can attest that he'll probably be a 4th or 5th starter, depending on whoever gets that last starting pitching spot. Mike Pelfrey. But you got to figure that Norris will be probably our 4th starter. Coming back from obviously his cancer, what do you see as a decent year from him that you will be satisfied with?
I'm going to go Porcello-esque and go 10-10.
Yeah, 11-9, something like that, with a
high 4 ERA.
Mid to high 4 ERA. I mean, that's 4 starter-esque type pitching. I wouldn't be terribly disappointed with that. I feel,
but he has better stuff than Porcello.
Yes.
So I'm expecting the strikeouts to be 5, 6, 7 a game.
Yep.
That might be asking a little bit too much. Maybe I'm a little bit too harsh for a young guy, but he's got better stuff. He's got good stuff. He was the top prospect for the Blue Jays. Sent David Price over there. He's got to be halfway decent. You got a small sample size of him last season. I like what I've seen, though. I absolutely did.
Coming from an ESPN article I'm just reading now about Ian Kinsler, he had mentioned earlier today that he says that this is not another spring training. For some odd reason that when he arrived on his plane in Lakeland, he got butterflies. First time he's ever really felt that way. I don't know why he's saying, he's like, to quote him, he said, I couldn't really put my finger on why I was nervous, but maybe it was because of the way the season went last year, He said that I just feel a lot more amped up for this season. What are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting that a veteran presence like Kinsler going into spring training would have that. That's kind of, I like that. A veteran guy who's been around the block a few times is getting butterflies and goosebumps, and he's ready to go.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to see.
What I want to see from Kinsler is a little bit more power this year.
Yeah, power production.
A little bit better power with the Tigers. I know you got Justin Upton there, slot in. He's going to hit you probably 25, 30 dingers.
We got the power on paper, that's for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Justin Upton's going to strike out roughly 170, 80 times.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you have it.
We actually have a guest 4 on the line. Who's this?
What up?
What up, Justin? How's it going, my friend?
Not much.
You calling in to touch on the Tigers?
I just calling in.
All right, peaches and cream. Nice to have you.
Crickets.
Shut up, Steve.
All right, so I was going to touch on Norris. What's up, Justin? A little bit. He's 22. I mean, Justin, you like Norris. He has huge upsides. He has huge potential with the Tigers. I think he has a big opportunity with the Tigers right now. And what pitcher do you think will be the one to look for?
We mentioned. I know we all kind of agreed on Sanchez last year.
Sanchez is my guy, but What about you? What do you think?
Verlander.
Yeah, Danny, I think said Verlander.
I did touch on Verlander. I think
must see JV.
You got to see Verlander come back to form.
Bounce back.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see 20 wins. You're not going to see 20, but I 15.
I'll take 15 to 17 wins out of JV. I think he's fully capable of doing it too.
He's healthy. All that matters.
If healthy, Verlander can definitely bounce back. The velocity has dipped a little bit for Verlander, but I would say Justin Verlander does have a big year ahead of him. If he doesn't, what are you going to rely on, Jordan Zimmerman to win you 20? That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Yeah, he's still second tier to Verlander. There's no doubt about that. Unless we see something spectacular out of Zimmerman right off the bat.
The only thing that ever kills Verlander is run support.
That is a big question.
That definitely has kind of hurt.
Never gets it.
Yeah, his win total, I think, has kind of suffered over the past couple of years. Even when he wasn't must-see JV, when he still pitched just some 6 to 7 decent innings, he just would never get that run support. So that's something that we definitely have to improve on this year. And we have the power, like we mentioned, about Upton. We have Upton. We got JD, Miggy. I mean, these guys, and Ian Kinsler.
I was just scrolling through myself. I'm trying to do a lineup, and I'm like, God damn, this is a good lineup. And, my predicted lineup right now is I just scratched it right now, not even looking at stats or anything like that. I have Maven starting at leadoff.
Yeah.
And
that's a question mark.
That's a question mark.
That's a big question mark. We know he's got the speed on the bag.
Yeah.
He could steal you 20 to 30 bags a year, but is the offensive production going to be there?
Right.
We need something a little bit more than what Rajay gave us.
So I got him starting for leadoff, and then I got Kinsler batting second. Then I got Cabby, JD, then Victor.
Yes.
That's kind of your
Victor
meat
has
right
to
there.
stay healthy.
But Victor, I've been hearing awesome reports on Victor. His back is healthy.
Oh, he's lost
feeling
weight.
good.
Lost
he's
weight,
lost
put on
weight.
muscle.
He's hitting
Yes.
well. So I'm looking forward to that. Then after Victor, I have Upton, and then McCann and Iglesias. I don't
like
know what
it.
you guys. I mean,
Iglesias got to have a bounce back year as well. We know his defense is there, but what can he do
I also
offensively?
seen today a report where someone released the Tigers have the worst tandem in Major League Baseball between Jared, the longest last name in the Major League,
Saltalamacchia,
and McCann.
Yes.
No, I kind of disagree with you.
I can't say that they're the
I don't
worst.
think that they are the worst. You know,
towards the bottom
the
because
catching
of
position is not really amplified.
Yeah.
I think that if you get a few knocks here and there, you can, you can get away with hitting 260 or 70. You can't do what Alex Avila-esque and hit 190, 200
No.
and be the starting catcher for a Major League Baseball team.
well, let's not kid ourselves. McCann's a starter. McCann's the leader. McCann's the captain.
Saltalamacchia
Saltalamacchia is just kind of your backup guy.
The
And
veteran,
I love it.
yeah.
I love the veteran.
The veteran
backup. I
voice.
love Salty. I think he's a good hard player. I think he'll get you at bats. He's always been known to have a good bat and just not have good defense.
Switch hitter for a predominantly right-handed lineup.
And I also,
so it helps for sure.
And I like the inexperience mixed in with a lot of experience because he's got that veteran voice, and I think he's going to obviously give McCann some great advice as well, and I think it can only help him. So no, I disagree as far as being at the bottom of the tandem. I would definitely say that they're probably somewhere in the middle to maybe the lower part of the league, but no, I will not put them towards the bottom at all. No. So. I read a link, too, on blessyouboys.com that the Tigers have 3 of the worst contracts in baseball. Now, as far as we've talked about, the production and the age, as we mentioned last week, this team is not getting any younger.
Oh, I can tell you what number 1 should be.
Yes, I think we can all attest to that. But the Tigers, as far as having one of the 3 worst contracts, would you necessarily agree with that as far as age is concerned, production?
I would say Victor Martinez has to be number 1 because having a DH-only player, no speed, barely on the field, can't play nothing else. Victor Martinez, yes, he's been great throughout his career, but for the contract that we gave him just a short season ago, it's a bust, in my opinion.
I opposed it.
I didn't like it. I did not like that.
I didn't either.
Can't say that.
Not for his age.
Oh, Justin liked it.
Oh, Justin, wait a minute. What's your take on
Can't
it?
say that. He may have gotten too much, but he would have got that with the White Sox, Indians.
Good, let them have him.
happy
He's been a bum.
Yeah.
He hasn't lived up to the contract. That's all we're saying. He needs to have a bounce back year.
Last year, if he wants to prove that last year was a fluke, then you better come off the gate swinging early because we know that he still has it. I mean,
He
regardless
looked
of
like
his
crap.
age. Yeah, if he is 35, 36 years old, but he can still have that. I mean, he had one of the most monstrous years a couple years ago when he hit 40 home runs. This is a guy that can hit way more beyond his years, and he can do it this year as long as he stays healthy. He's got bad knees. He obviously doesn't catch no more, but he is still a solid DH. And
He can fill in catcher sometimes.
Yeah, and
or first.
I believe in.
But
I believe in.
What's
Martinez.
Justin think is the worst contract? Justin, what do you think is the worst contract for the Tigers right now?
I would have said Sanchez.
Oh, you're not a fan of
okay.
Sanchez?
Oh man, see, we were touching on Sanchi about how he needs to kind of
he
get
did have
back
a
to his
down
form.
year.
Yeah, he had a down. Yeah,
But I also think we should have traded him a couple years ago.
Yeah, when his contract was up, when the Tigers had the chance to either let him go, his options were Chicago Cubs and the Detroit Tigers,
Right.
and he chose to come here. Thinking of it for him and his perspective, I would have chose the Cubs. Look at
He
the
would've had
Cubs
more
right now.
money.
Look at
Yeah.
the Cubs right
He
now,
would've
and,
had more- yeah.
and he would have been in the National League. The ERA would have been a lot better. He would have been
Yep.
with Jake Arrieta. Oh my goodness! Can you imagine the Cubs staff with Sanchez in it?
Good
yes.
God almighty.
In the NL, I mean, you
Oh
got the
my
pitcher.
goodness! Chris Bryant,
It
Anthony
is a small
Rizzo,
park. but,
Wrigley Field. Oh
But
goodness!
still, that'd be cool.
But I like Sanchez. I like what he
Yeah.
can bring. I like his attitude and his kind of like his moxie that he brings to the table.
What about Gang Green?
Shane Green,
Gang Green. Gang Green.
I wonder if he'll make a comeback ever.
Oh,
He's
man.
been a-
fighting for a
think
long
we-
reliever spot.
Yeah.
in the
I'm not gonna
bullpen.
say I was
No,
really
that's
high.
Buck Farmer's spot.
Yeah, Buck Farmer. I don't know if I can say I was high on when we signed Shane Green last year, but I mean, damn, did he not live up to the expectations? I think we saw more out of Big Pasta last year than Shane Green for sure. Big Pasta, even though his ERA was well elevated over
He's still
5.
available.
He is still available.
Oh, goodness.
Going back to those contracts now, this is coming from Dan Saborski from ESPN. Now, he placed 3 Tigers in his top 25 worst contracts. He put Miguel Cabrera at number 5, Justin Verlander was number 14, and Victor Martinez was surprisingly down at number 20. Now,
Cabrera should never be in that
you can't.
website.
I think
never.
I know, but I think they're
pisses me
going.
off.
I think they're going based off of his low numbers last year, as the whole team struggled.
Because
but come on, man, this
Look
is
at how
greatness you're talking about.
This is where he's evaluating, and I can't speak for him, and I won't try. But this is, I think, where he's evaluating. Is now baseball has changed. If you flip on baseball, there's that WAR statistic. There's he's this, or he takes too many pitches, or he swings at the first pitch. So they dig so deep, in depthly with numbers now. So then you got guys like Mike Trout, so that's why they're like, Mike Trout's the best player. And Bryce Harper, why he's so good. And Jose Bautista, and why he's this or that. Because these baseball analysis dig so deeply into the statistics. Like beforehand, when we were in high school, did you hear about WAR? Absolutely not.
No.
I didn't know what WAR was.
No,
it wasn't.
I still don't know what WAR is.
I'm still confused. about
Wins
it.
above replacement is what WAR stands.
It's a useless statistic, isn't it?
And now a lot of people will argue with that, and the analytics of baseball is changed so much, and it's all about analytics, and it's all about Maniactus format. Analytics, it wins. Look at the Cardinals. Look at the Giants' formula for winning. That's what everybody talks about is war, analytics, shove it down your throat. If you flip on MLB Network right now, they're discussing analytics.
Yeah.
It's just what it's coming to. So a lot of people break it down as Miguel Cabrera is not worth his contract because of analytics and WAR stats and all that hocus pocus stuff that you want to throw at it. But as far as the most feared hitter in baseball, it's still got to be Cabrera.
And as far as value,
When healthy, yeah.
value, most valuable player to his team, I will put Miguel Cabrera on that paper 10,000 times. I don't care what you say, but no, I definitely agree with Samborski on this one. But just for fun, to round out the top 3, Prince Fielder checks in at number 3.
I can attest
Albert
to that.
Pujols number 2, and just for shits and giggles, who do you think number 1 was?
Josh Hamilton.
No.
I don't have
This is a
let me get one more.
A-Rod.
in there.
no. I
it's
was
not
saying
A-Rod.
that's who I would have
Okay.
guessed. Justin, who do you think has the worst contract in baseball according to Dan Saborski?
I think we lost Justin, so I'll take another one here.
Right.
Let's see, Albert Pujols.
He went to the bathroom.
I guess so.
He's second.
No, he was second. I just said he was number
Albert
2.
Pujols is not number 1.
No, he's number 2.
Josh Hamilton's not on that list.
This is somebody that this will give it away, but he was recently acquired by the Seattle Mariners.
Robbie
Oh,
Cano.
Robbie Cano. Now, do you agree with that?
When he was with the Yankees, absolutely not. But since he's with Seattle, I don't know if he's quite
I can
fit
see
in.
some truth behind that.
I don't know if he's quite fit in with Seattle. I know Seattle's kind of a
Seattle
rebuilding
sucks.
team. Seattle's offense is just kind of eh. And you got
And
two
he's kind
guys.
of busted.
Yep.
And would I take Robinson Cano in Detroit? Absolutely.
Yes.
But
He misses that lineup.
Yeah, he
The
does.
Yankees have to
He is
protect him.
missing.
He does. I don't
I
think
mean,
he is fit for being
No.
that top dog on
No.
the lineup.
He's
He
not.
he wants other guys making him look
He's not
good.
an MVP.
No, he's not.
caliber- He's
Not
a
by
great
himself.
player, but he's not.
He cannot
MVP
carry a
talented.
team on his back.
well, Nelson Cruz. You have Nelson Cruz over there too. But Nelson Cruz
Strikes out.
so is Robbie Cano.
Yeah.
Robinson Cano is a phenomenal player in his own, but he is not a guy. He needs more protection in the lineup. Nelson Cruz will solidify that and give him some protection.
Yeah.
But Nelson Cruz hits bombs, and he's a very prolific power hitter, but he's kind of dwindling off a little bit, in my opinion. I don't
Yeah,
think
he's
that
older.
he's the age is a factor. He's going to start slowing down. Seattle signed him for a huge deal. Not Francisco, but Felix Hernandez.
Yes.
You have
King
him on the
Felix
mound.
himself. Yeah.
Now, that is a guy I touched on, and Steve disagreed with me, who's wasting away their career and who's dwindling away. That is another one for me, is Rodriguez. Or not
Yeah.
Hernandez, pardon me.
Hernandez.
Is just absolutely dwindling away in Seattle right now. His
So much
best
talent.
years are just sitting there. He's just throwing up, strikeouts.
No hitters.
No hitters.
Yeah.
And it's
Leading the
dwindling away.
AL
They're
in strikeouts.
Seattle is wasting the best years of his career away. Now, if I'm him, this is just me. Maybe it's selfishness. Maybe it's just a little arrogance that I have. I'd be like, yeah, trade me to Boston. I want to go with David Price. I want to win a World Series.
Seattle could benefit. They could get some guys to build their team. Right now, they don't have it. They need more guys to build that team that they're trying to develop down there or up there.
But then
whatever
he
you wanna
puts
say.
butts in seats because look, he's got his own section.
Yeah.
He's got the whole,
true.
the King's Court and all that good stuff down there.
I'm going to throw out a name here, too, that we haven't touched on yet. And this is somebody that you're a fan of, Danny. This individual initially had, I guess he made some sort of claim to the media that he was worth $150 million and that he was not going to be supplying his team with a hometown discount as far as what he's worth. And that person's Joey Bats himself, Jose Batista. Mm-hmm. This is a guy now that age is starting to creep up on him. He's 35 years old. He's been around the game a while. Is this a guy that needs to request a trade or something if he ever wants to win a World Series championship? Toronto was on the upswing. We saw that last year. But what do you see from Jose Batista? Do you think he's worth $150 million as he says he is?
The production has been there, and why would you want to leave when you got Josh Donaldson, the bringer of rain?
Yeah.
The man that crushes baseballs left and right. Great player. Why would you want to leave town? And they they acquired Jay Bruce, and I don't know if it's going to go through. I got that when we were at Raw on Monday night. I got someone.
Toronto
tweeted me
Jay Bruce,
said that they got Jay Bruce, which is a big acquisition.
But
it did fall through.
Yeah, that didn't go through.
I believe it did fall through. So they lost him. They lost David Price. The pitching staff without David Price takes a hit. Toronto is still very good offensively with Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Batista, Troy Tulowitzki. They have a good, solid lineup. But the pitching is going to be a question mark.
I don't see them as far as dwindling. I think they're going to stick around with the talent they got. They've got youth mixed in with veterans. And Jose Batista, as I probably wouldn't agree that he's worth the $150 million that he states he is, I think he could probably stick around for a couple more years in Toronto.
He's got the fire. We all seen that home run.
Yes, what power.
Stance, trot, whatever you want to call it, last season in the postseason when he flicked his bat halfway across the country. I
love that.
I like that.
I like it. Yeah, I love the attitude, man. Cockiness. Yeah. Show it off if you have it, and if you're going to bring it, then show what you have. And Jose Batista, for a guy that's barely 6 feet tall, I mean, he has got some power.
That's the stuff that lifts a team.
Yes.
Everyone wants to play around this guy because this guy's passionate. He loves what he's doing. I wanted to touch on, since we were talking about contracts, I just read a story about my boy Harper, and we were talking about how he's going to go to Yankees.
Yes.
Go for it.
And they were talking, blah, blah, blah. They said, you're working toward a $400 million contract with the Yankees. And what did he say? He said, don't put a price tag on me yet. I might be, insinuating he might be worth more.
He's looking at $500.
Jesus. You want to talk about contracts?
Yeah.
He's looking at the largest contract in MLB history.
So it makes your discussion, your argument, a lot more valid from what you said last week.
As
a Yankee-esque
pick
type.
him up. Yeah,
the Yankees, the only viable team out there that would be willing to pay $500 million.
There's Derek Jeter's replacement as far as slapping the C and being in the Yankee tradition of excellence and all the stuff that the Yankees bring. Bryce Harper's probably going to be that.
Way to be humble, Mr. Bryce Harper.
Oh, Justin.
No, Danny or Justin's back.
Harper will not be the highest paid player.
Who will?
Who will then?
Trout.
See, we had this argument last week because last week this is where
Trout will be the first one to $400 million.
All right, Justin, with who? Who is he signing with? The Angels again, or is he going to go to the Yankees?
Well, either one. If he stays with the Angels, they'll pay him more.
So
you think
what's
the
your
Angels
prediction?
will want to lock him up? Yeah, that's my prediction. I think
either one will pay him.
See what the problem with the Angels is the Angels don't have enough pieces around him, and why I don't think he'll sign again with the Angels is because they're still paying Josh Hamilton, and Josh Hamilton's not even with the franchise, and they're paying him millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And yes, he's got issues, but they're not going to want to throw any more money at a guy. Mike Trout is the face of baseball. Yes, he's the new Subway guy. Yes, he's this. Yes, he's that. And he's a great talent. But do they want to give him that big, lifey contract? Yeah. And potentially...
He's only had, 3 full years under his belt. And, I mean, yes, he's been...
You think he's worth over $400 million?
No, not yet.
7 years, say, or 10 years?
Is worth...
No player. Yeah, that's right.
Is worth $400 million.
I agree.
Well, that's what he's looking at.
Trout will get it.
Baseball
because that's
has
what
the
Harper's
highest
looking up,
paid
and I think
players.
Trout's a better player than Harper, in my eyes. Overall.
So you're going to say that Trout is better than Harper?
I think Trout is a guy you build around. I think Harper's...
is just a money whore.
I don't know. Harper, he confuses me because he gets really hot and extremely hot. But sometimes he gets really cold, and then he has an attitude that will bring down a team.
He's more of a showboater.
He can be a cancer.
Yeah, he is.
That fight he had in the dugout, Trout will never do that. He's a damn leader.
I guess you could say
and he's a guy that's all around... a 5-star, 5-tool player.
You can say that as far as like wrestling terms, is that I guess you could say that like Bryce Harper's like
He's
the
the heel.
Yes,
Yeah, pretty much.
And Mike Trout's the face.
CM
because,
Punk of MLB.
Yes,
And
you
John
won't see
Cena
that.
is Mr.
Yes.
Mike Trout.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mike
I agree
Trout.
with that.
Yeah, Bryce Harper is a guy after money, after World Series championships. He's not looking to be faithful to, I think, any one team. But you got a guy like Mike Trout who will be the guy to hug babies, eat Subway on TV. He's a guy that is going to be a face of a franchise one day. And when it's all said and done, who do you see with more World Series rings?
None.
None for either one.
I think you're going to look at both of those guys,
Trout.
and as good
Trout.
as good as
I'm
both
gonna
of
say
them
Trout.
are, as good as
I'm
they
gonna
are, I predict both of them don't win a ring.
That's a tough.
Now, you figure they
It's-
got probably
it's
another
really,
good,
they
probably
have a
15
good-
years ahead of them.
They're going to
I
be
will
playing
say
until our
Harper.
mid-30s.
I'll say Harper. Just
You're
for
saying
the
Harper
fact I
just
think
because of the
he's gonna
Yankees.
go to
Yes, but the
They are
Yankees are
always
still a
contenders.
little bit away from building a champ.
And
They
the-
have a championship
But-
contender, but I still feel like they need something else.
The Yankees have a very old school lineup.
Yeah.
A lot of dwindling careers are with the Yankees right now. You got Teixeira, who can barely stand. You got Alex Rodriguez, who had a very good season.
When he's not on steroids,
I'm
he
not.
Could, yeah.
I wasn't even going to touch on that, but when he is going well, Alex Rodriguez puts up good numbers.
Right.
Alex Rodriguez is towards the end of his career. Carlos Beltran can't stay healthy. Jacoby Ellsbury can't stay healthy. Brett Gardner can't stay healthy.
Yeah, we
Can't-
touched on this
Yeah,
last
we
week.
did,
You
yeah.
can go on. I
is
mean,
you can go on and on.
Yep.
That is why you solidified the Yankees with getting a Harper or a Trout. One of the two.
the Yankees will always contend. They'll buy their way to playoffs. That's a given.
Within the next 3 years, they will have a Harper or a Trout on their team, only because of the players that are going to be retiring. You got to figure A-Rod's probably going to be done within the next 3 years. Same thing goes for Mark Teixeira, Carlos Beltran. I mean, those three guys right there opens up all that cap space. I feel like then they would just go after a guy like, well, I think we all agreed on a Bryce Harper before Mike Trout. So, we knew Steve.
Yeah, let's. Well, since we were talking
I
about,
got-
go ahead, Justin.
I got two teams that could would pay the money too.
Let me guess, Chicago Cubs.
They're on the.
I would love that.
Yeah, Justin's a big Cubs fan.
I know he is. That's why I had to
I like
heckle
the
him a
Cubs
little bit.
too. I like the
They're
Cubs.
my NL team.
Yeah.
Go for it, Justin.
Boston,
Okay.
and if he's still around, Detroit, Village would make that move.
Everybody's been saying the last couple of years that we want to see that
Can't
before
afford,
he dies.
Can't afford Justin Verlander, Miguel Cabrera, and Mike Trout.
Yeah, with that new arena they're building.
That's what I'm saying, man.
They're gonna have to raise the hot and ready
Yeah,
to $10.
Yeah, they're gonna be charging $60 to go to a
Right.
Red Wing game. My God,
You tell me Illich wouldn't make that move?
No.
He would
So,
try. but
he has
I don't
always
think
said
he
that
could.
money is no object, but I don't know, man. Like,
Remember
I
that
think
luxury
Dombrowski would try to push for that move. I
Yes.
can see Boston.
I can
Yeah.
see him going to
But-
Boston.
Dombrowski's money hungry. I can
He
see
just-
him
Look at what he did.
because he makes quick
David
moves.
Price.
He's not one.
Yeah.
He's not one. I think like an Al Avila.
He just
We'll see that.
spends. He'll spend on that big name. You know, he's all about that big name. Where Al Avila.
Yeah,
or
Al Avila.
Avila, whatever.
Al Avila is one that is all about the future.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Justin.
Oh, Illich made the move for Fielder.
Yeah, we all know. Look how that went. Backfired.
We had the
Yeah,
best
but
team on
we
paper
got
in
to the World
2012.
Series.
Well, we should have won the
That
World
is
Series
true.
in
That is
2012.
That is true.
And it was because,
Do
I
that.
think, of effort of Prince Fielder that we did not win the World
Prince
Series.
Fielder was an absolute cancer to our
Yeah.
World Series run.
Well, that's because what's his face slept with his wife, Lexi.
Evan-
No,
Abizail
Abizail Garcia,
Yeah.
Baby Miggy, Baby
Yeah,
Miggy.
that was a whole. Yeah, that was bad.
That was a travesty.
But let's kind of segue into something else. We've been talking Tigers forever here. Do you want to talk?
go
Well,
ahead and dive into the Aaron Andrews here.
yeah,
All
Danny,
right.
what notes you got on Erin Andrews that you heard here?
Now, Aaron Andrews in a lawsuit battle with that peeping Tom, not
Still,
Steve's brother, but Erin Andrews. We all know who she is. She's a gorgeous woman that you see. She was dating Jared Stoll.
Yep.
Used to play hockey. I don't know if he is anymore or not. I haven't heard anything from him. Aaron, sideline reporter, always in the big games, the World Series, the Super Bowl, so on and so forth. She's a gorgeous woman, hands down. Absolutely, we're all men here. We all probably think she's gorgeous, unless you don't like gorgeous women. Aaron, this guy, I guess, followed her into a Nashville. They finally found out because they were trying to figure out what pants she was wearing. Because I guess you could see in the photographs that he took of her when she was scantily clad, you could see her pants.
Yeah.
And they traced back and looked at the camera looked at some game footage and found out that she was in Nashville. She was at some Marriott hotel or something like that in Nashville because, those big-time broadcasters can do that kind of stuff. So they got a nice big hotel. But I guess she had, a fan or a guy that's just a little bit obsessed with her, probably just wanted to, bang her, whatever it is, was peeping in the keyhole and put it online. One of these videos that you see.
Where's that at?
Nothing new.
It's still probably on YouTube.
Never mind, go ahead.
This happened. We're talking it's been 5 or 6 years now since
it's been a while, and
I'm sure you'll find
it. To
it.
me,
I'm
okay,
sure
this is going to get me a lot of hate, and bring it all you want. Okay, I like Erin Andrews, and I get it. I don't want you want to take naked pictures of me, be my guest, but it's nothing to look at. You don't want to do that. But Erin Andrews, okay, you got to realize something. Wouldn't you have some sort of notice if you're being stalked a little bit? You're a gorgeous woman. Wouldn't you keep an eye out? Wouldn't you have a bodyguard?
They love attention.
Yeah, they do.
She loves the attention.
Do you think she was posing for this guy, just trying to get some money out of it?
She was in her own private hotel room, and she wants $75 million for this.
Civil suit.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you guys, is this a publicity stunt? Because here's the thing. I was watching the court proceedings, and it's on TMZ and all that juicy stuff.
She broke down.
She was breaking down. Her dad was up there putting baby pictures up,
Justified.
teenage pictures, crying and weeping on that, she's a good girl and everything. And she might be, I don't know her personally, but is this just a publicity stunt? Because look at this, okay? I'm going to sound like a complete jerk right now, and that's fine. But this is what made Erin Andrews. Let's just put it this way. Yeah. This is what got her.
She was not in the public spotlight
she didn't sleep her way to the top. She basically had
posed her way.
She posed her way. This guy's a creep. Absolutely. It's disgusting. It's a disgrace. I'll be the first one to say it. But this is what made her. She got her gig, ESPN, Fox. She's all over the place. Why? Because she's a gorgeous woman.
Yeah.
She isn't the greatest reporter, in my opinion.
No. I'm not a big fan of her reporting skills.
But this uplifted her. Because it's like,
did.
oh, Erin Andrews. Oh, and now... Oh, she's everywhere because guess what? She was, in a hotel room naked. No, is this a publicity stunt? $75 million. She gets the $75 million. She can have a nice little life after that.
Well, the fact that we haven't heard a damn word until just now, it's been 5-6 years since this happened. We're hearing reports now that she's not been able to be the same. She's afraid to walk around in public. She's afraid to walk around in crowds, afraid of people. She doesn't trust anybody.
She's always in the playoffs.
Huh?
She's always in that
movie. Yeah, she is. She's host Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
She
She's
said,
not. This is like you said.
I would say it's partially
stunt,
yes.
Blah blah blah. She wants money. That's most women.
And being in the public spotlight.
But I won't say she's got all this fame because of this. She did start off as college, reporting.
Yes.
She started there.
She was well known, but not as well known until after.
And she worked her way up the ranks, and whatever this happened.
Yes.
And that got in the news and all this and controversy and all that. Whatever. She wants her. She's not going to get it. What's this? White American million. Guy that makes these jobs that we have. He's not going to have what? Let me hold on. Let me get $75 million out for you. Shut up. But Justin, what do you think about all this? Crickets.
I give two shit.
Yeah, it's just typical.
I don't care about Erin Andrews.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of her, especially when she called Jim Leland, Joe Leland.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And there
don't belong in sports.
This is really weird to say because I know she's covered everything from football to baseball to everything out there. The only thing I remember her doing is that she was because she works for Fox Sports now. She was doing pre-race coverage for the Daytona 500 a few years ago, and she totally brushed off 50 Cent, who was trying to go in for the kiss.
Can we pick it back? Video? Can we pick it up? To Daytona?
Oh, you want to piggyback to that? Yeah. All right. Since Erin Andrews is just like blah. Well, yeah, we can start off by saying that Denny Hamlin won the Daytona 500 on Sunday. Amazing finish. I watched it live. Steve, you saw it. Closest Daytona 500.
Seen it on ESPN because I wasn't going to spend 3 hours of my life watching a race.
Well, I didn't watch the whole.
No, the best 10 laps. The 10 laps are the best to watch anyway. You know that.
The last of it.
But to be where it was, I mean, it looked like it was going to be Matt Kenseth winning it because he led, I think, the last 30 laps. And then Hamlin out of nowhere from like 4th to 1st, he kind of booted Kenseth out of the way, went up. Kenseth got 14th.
This is awesome for NASCAR.
Yeah, it was.
It got news, like Danny said, he saw it on ESPN. They never show that crap on ESPN. So they're showing it, it's a tight race.
It is the biggest race of the year.
And now you won't hear any coverage on NASCAR.
Kenseth's up here, freaking Hamlin fly on the top, on the high end, which is
He's
hard,
lucky he didn't lose
which
it.
is hard.
Kenseth is lucky
You know
he
what?
didn't lose
It's
it.
all
Yes.
NASCAR, and he just nosed them.
Yep.
You know, it
Got
was
him
great.
arrow
It was
loose,
great.
and then my God, that run to the start finish line, Martin Truex. I was really pulling for Truex to win that, but it
He was pushing hard,
Yeah,
too.
it turned out to be the closest 500 in history. I mean, it was literally 2 inches. 2 inches is all it was to the line, and
Great.
when
And it's great to hear Jeff.
Yeah,
I know it's cool
no,
seeing him racing. He was good in the
he
booth.
got good
He's-
reviews. He's a natural, you know.
Yeah.
Jeff
See,
Gordon fan.
I do want to check Jeff Gordon out in the booth. That's one thing
He did good.
Is what kind of commentator is Jeff Gordon going to be? You know, obviously he's
I
not
like-
going to be
I
biased for the
like
Jimi
it.
Hendrix
He
guys.
is, now the thing about Jeff is that he is taking over in the booth for Larry McReynolds, who's been with DW and Mike Joy for the last 12 years.
I miss Jerry Punch
Oh, I miss old
Yeah.
school ESPN.
and the old video games.
I miss,
Oh, my
I miss
goodness
old
gracious.
school, you know, Bob Jenkins, Jerry Punch, and all those guys. Benny Parsons, God rest his soul. But I think he's a natural, and I think when you bring a guy like, you know, I like DW as much as, you know, boogity boogity boogity. You know, a lot of people don't really like
That's
DW.
famous for that. I
He is.
don't mind that.
I like DW. I like Mike Joy as the play-by-play, and Jeff is now as the second color analyst. And I think he's a natural because you bring a guy in there that's fresh out of the sport. He knows the updated rules packages. He knows a lot. He's been in the freaking sport for 20 plus years, and you know he doesn't have the best voice for radio or broadcasting. I'll admit that. I mean, it's more of a higher pitched voice, but he was a natural in the booth. He knows his stuff. He had his notes ready.
All right, enough.
And yeah, I'm
Derek's
gonna
a Jeff
I'm
Gordon
gonna-
slappy.
Derek's drooling
I'm
right now. Oh my God.
I'm gonna suck Jeff Gordon up. Wait, what?
Derek's
Um,
a Jeff Gordon slappy here.
Justin, you still with us?
I'm still
Did you
here.
see any of the race?
Yeah, I turned it after Junior wrecked.
Oh, I figured.
Oh yeah,
Junior Rec.
I'm a huge fan of Junior. Derek knows. And
I'm
he
mediocre.
was doing well.
He was up
And
front.
then
He lost it on his own. and
It was pointless to watch after he.
No, I
got
wouldn't
wrecked.
say that.
No.
That's being a bandwagon.
that's a
fan. You gotta
bandwagon
enjoy this-
homer.
the whole
Hey, I
race.
could have turned it off when Chase Elliott wrecked on the 20th lap, but
I was
didn't.
just hoping Jimmy Johnson would win so Derek would cry.
Nope, Jimmy. As far as picks go, I picked Kevin Harvick. He finished fourth. Danny picked Jimmy Johnson. He finished 16th.
Well, I'm no NASCAR
well,
expert.
the thing
My
about
goodness.
the thing about the Daytona 500 is you don't even have to know anything about NASCAR.
Well, let's
because
make
it's
our
a crapshoot.
predictions for next week. Or when do they
Well,
race next?
They race at Atlanta 500.
All right,
next
what do you
week.
got? Let's do it right now.
I'm gonna go with.
Oh, Derek's under the gun. Let's go to Danny.
I'm gonna go Joey Logano.
Okay.
Rebound.
Nah, get out of
I
here.
hate Joey Logano, but I say he's gonna
He
win.
won't rebound, no.
We'll see.
Top 10.
Matt Kenseth.
Redemption.
Yeah, redemption for Kenseth. I can see that. But I want to see Truex Jr. I think, what is this, a long track or short track?
It's a oval mediocre track,
medium.
mile and a half track.
I like seeing Truex Jr. or Dale Jr. One of the juniors is going to win. Mark it on the board.
Okay.
All right.
Justin
Justin.
with the final pick. I think we already know who his pick's going to be, but
Well, other than Junior, because I picked him for every race, but
you can't play favorites here. You got to go with
Bias.
a
Yeah.
legitimate
Come on.
winner
Kyle Busch.
here. Ooh.
Okay.
Kyle Busch he's been Fast and Speed Weeks defending Sprint
Is
Cup Series
Danica
champion.
Patrick racing?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a full-time
She's just
racer.
a shitty racer.
She honestly, and it's pretty sad.
And no, I'm not being sexist.
No,
I
listen,
don't-
we're not
listen
being
to
sexist. I
this.
think it's awesome
I
that
am.
we have a female racer.
Listen to this about Danica. It's pretty sad when you have the NASCAR analysts saying that, let's be honest, Daytona and Talladega are the two best tracks for Danica to win on because we know she's not going to win on a normal mile and a half or 2 mile track. That's pretty sad.
Ooh, that's a little
I
harsh.
wouldn't say.
Sexist, Derek.
I wouldn't say that it's so much about her being a female. She can drive the wheels off of a race car. Don't get me wrong, but it's the
And
equipment.
other things probably.
Yes, she can ride. She's riding old Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Right.
Cowboy.
But we kind of segue a little bit, to the end of the Daytona 500 talk, and I love talking NASCAR a little bit, but how about that hair slap by John
Okay.
Cena? Then we can segue into
Yes.
kind of the
So
wrestling.
for those of you that were watching the pre-race coverage, I thought this was hilarious.
Seen the highlights.
So John Cena was brought in to be the pace car driver to start the race, and every race they usually do like a pit road walk where they go walk down with the camera, interview drivers and such. And Jamie Little, who was a female reporter, she was walking down pit road and she approaches John Cena, and John Cena is just standing there, basically with a look on his face, like, "Oh, I'm all ready for you. I'm gonna get interviewed." And she's basically really brushing up against him with her back to him, and he's just kind of like waiting for the moment. And she's turned her head, and her freaking ponytail just whips right across his face, and he gives her a look like, "Bitch, what the hell did you just do to me?"
I'm John
Oh.
Cena.
Right, John
It was
Cena.
so
I mean,
it was hilarious.
I guess she couldn't really see him.
That's what everybody's been saying online. Like, I guess you really can't see him. It's like, Oh my God!
You guys went to Raw. How was that experience? Let's talk about that.
Segue into wrestling here.
Let's segue a little bit.
Raw was great. I gotta admit, like as far as it being
How
an
about
average show,
Shane McMahon? I want you guys to talk about that. That's big news.
I know Justin can
Huge
chime into
news.
this. I know Justin.
I'm
can chime
excited,
into
man.
this.
You got Hell in a Cell. You got Undertaker. You got the
I have been waiting
ownership
for touch
on the line.
Touching on this, I knew this was coming.
This is what? This is
No, I'm looking at Steve. I'm like, all right, Steve, take it down a notch. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to chime in. No, me
Love
and Danny,
the optimism. Though.
Yes,
Yeah.
Danny and I went to Monday Night Raw this past Monday at the Joe, and honestly, we were blown away by seeing the return of Shane McMahon, who we
Hearing
haven't
Derek
seen.
scream like a woman was pretty
I marked
funny,
out. I marked out, and it was.
Don't say that.
I wouldn't say. I know Steve hates that.
I marked out.
I hate that.
It's such a
I marked
wrestling
out.
fanboy
God.
term. I
It's
marked
so-
out for Shane McMahon, but
and
it
then
was
here we are
cool.
walking through the
Just
mean
say-
streets of
just say-
Detroit with a gold belt wrapped around Derek.
Yeah,
Right,
I
just
took.
say you got a hard on.
I got a hard on for
All
Shane
right.
O'Mac.
Justin, what did Justin think? What
Justin,
Shane?
I know he liked it.
Well, I had a hard on when Stephanie came out.
Oh!
Oh, that was loud.
Yeah, it was.
What do you think about Shane returning? And what do you think about all this going on?
And facing the Undertaker at
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
I don't think he's going to end up facing Undertaker.
Whoa.
Now that's
I
interesting
think
because
it's just
A ploy?
play it off and see if Cena's going to be there.
The shuffle. That what?
I think they're just holding it off just to make sure Cena can go.
I thought it was going to be
They're
a
gonna switch.
non-wrestling or
well, John Cena will be at
what's the
WrestleMania.
deal, Derek?
They'll switch the plans.
Don't
John-
get me excited now, and now rain on my parade. I was excited. For
This
that.
this is interesting because the Undertaker is going to be returning on Monday Night Raw this week to say whatever he has to say, kind of deploy all the rumors that he's fighting for Vince McMahon. He ain't fighting for Vince; he's fighting for himself. But I can see that having some other wrestler fight in Shane's honor, because let's face it, Shane's 46 years old, hasn't wrestled in 8 years.
How old's Undertaker?
51.
Shut up, then.
The match.
It's
Okay.
he's in more
Shane's not a
ring
wrestler.
shape. Shane
I
is
thought
not.
he was a wrestler.
Shane is a hardcore nuts
was a
guy.
wrestler.
He's a high flyer. He'll jump off stuff
Yeah.
for the fans.
And Shane,
Shane
you got to
get his
remember,
ass whooped.
Shane is not the Shane O'Mac that we remember.
Here we go.
He puts on a show.
Yeah.
That was hearing that was interesting. But when Shane comes out,
Like
you like everything that he brings, the energy. Shane is energy.
Yeah, that's what I was excited.
WWE needs that guy.
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
That's an organic feel that's not shoved down your throat like Roman Reigns is.
Right.
You
Okay.
have to have that guy, and Shane McMahon can be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, with Shane McMahon, I feel like
But you want him facing the Undertaker, and this is what you and I talked about on the car ride home, and this is where I really diagnosed it and broke it down and thought about this. And why I don't like this is because you're having the Undertaker nearing the end of his career. This could be his last match. Do you want his last match to be against Shane McMahon? Not
a
notable-
potential loss as well,
And,
which
yeah.
I don't really care about. I digested it too. I had 24 hours to think, and I told Justin, I was like, this match, if it does happen, Shane versus Taker, it has to live up to the hype, and I think that
There is no hype. You got a guy who wrestles
I
once a
told-
year, and you got a guy who hasn't been in the ring in God knows how long.
But because of the stipulation, the Hell in a Cell aspect of it, where anybody can interfere, we can almost know, Justin attested to this, that even if it is Shane versus Taker, John Cena turning heel potentially and costing The Undertaker this match.
But how do you know who's the heel and who's the face?
That's the thing. You
There
gotta make-
is no real heel. There is a face. Obviously, Shane's.
I think the fans
The face.
wouldn't really carry their way if Shane or Undertaker won or lost, but I think it'd be cool to see a new authority figure on television. It'd be the first.
Vince, you know Vince. Vince does everything big at WrestleMania.
Yes. I don't
And-
lose doubt in him.
And they want Cena to turn heel. And no better person to do it.
We could, we could see a kind of like
it sets up next year's WrestleMania.
that's what Justin was saying. We could see
At
WrestleMania 33.
SummerSlam
And
or
here's the
Survivor Series.
here's the thing. Okay, this is what I would do. Okay, if you're gonna have that move, Cena doesn't have to be 100% to go in there and the Undertaker.
No, he's already squatting 400 pounds. I mean, he can lift up the
He
Undertaker.
can go in there not 100%, make a big WrestleMania moment, turn heel, finally maybe get something going for WWE just by going in there, entering the cell, AAing the Undertaker. Shane wins. There's your
Yeah,
big
because
WrestleMania.
I don't see Taker disappearing like we
Like
see after WrestleMania, especially if somebody else gets involved and costs him a match. Like we saw him and Brock have one of the greatest feuds of the summer, and I can see the same between Cena and Taker, which we all know who the heel in that one would be, John Cena. So I'm all for it. I think there is going to be obviously some interference in this match. I really don't know if they will actually change, like if they will make it, well, Shane comes on Raw and says, well, I found an actual person to fight for me. That's not in the deal. The deal was that he wrestles The Undertaker. I don't see them changing that, but because it's Hell in a Cell, you got to go big or go home. I can see definite interference from somebody in that match, like John Cena.
Well, Shane's not going to win it clean.
No, of course not.
No.
People aren't that stupid. I mean, you can't put a guy in there that's a freaking...
No, I think Shane's going to be really hesitant. Okay, this is a big match. He hasn't wrestled in years. Yes, he might have been training for months.
No, he is training right now.
He is training right now,
Yes.
but you can't train 6 weeks before WrestleMania. He's got to have been training beforehand to go in a match with a guy who hasn't wrestled all year. Yes, The Undertaker might be in the best shape of his life, but he still hasn't been in the ring in a long time.
Shane McMahon is definitely a better-looking 46 than Undertaker 51, I'll tell you that. Taker looks like he's about 60.
Shane is not going to be going through glass.
No.
He's not going to be jumping off the cell. He's got kids. He's older. You don't want to potentially cause life-threatening harm to the guy, especially with WWE's issues with concussions and already injuries that they already have. Having Shane win this clean, it's not going to happen. The best way, the course of action for this to make this presentable is having John Cena turn heel.
And cost Undertaker.
Or you have, what I suggest, Finn Balor come out, turn heel, help Shane McMahon.
Because I think he'd get cheered anyway, face or heel. Finn Balor is just so over in NXT right now, I don't think the fans would boo him.
And if you go in there and you have Bray Wyatt, you have Shane turn heel magically.
Yeah.
And have Bray Wyatt come out, or Braun Strowman come through the ring and grab Taker and choke slam him, and that be the match. That would be dumb.
How many times have we seen, I know it's a whole other generation, but how many times have we seen the McMahons screw the WWE Universe? We could see this could all be a ploy.
It could.
Shane could just turn on Undertaker, and he could join forces with Vince and join the Authority. It could just be a whole McMahon regime again, like 2001, all over again.
I heard they're thinking about doing the brand extensions again.
Oh, God, no. Don't do that.
So I'm going to get everybody involved here in this next little quick segment. I'm going to get Steve involved. Derek and I were having a kind of a weird chat on the way home. But now that I brought this to my attention, okay, is you're going to have your one WrestleMania moment. I know Steve's not a big fanboy like us three are, Justin.
But he can still
Derek,
chime in on this.
But go ahead and chime in on this. Okay, Steve, your WrestleMania, your dream match. Who do you want to face? Anybody that's living or dead. Be logical. Don't say like a woman or something like that. But... who would you want to face for your big WrestleMania match?
Your two favorite opponents, or a match that we've never seen before? I know you're pretty good with like 90s.
That I would face?
No,
Or that you would want to see?
That you would like to wrestle.
Yeah, that
or your one match.
Oh, we would?
Yeah, you.
Oh.
You personally.
Did we talk about this?
No, I'm throwing this off the cuff.
All right, Steve, you start off.
Well, I'll let Justin start off because I want to think about this.
All right, Justin, go ahead. Who would you, if you could wrestle any superstar?
This is an organic reach right here. None of these guys knew about this.
Living or dead?
Yeah, I had this planned in my own little head.
I could?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know who Justin would pick, but we'll see.
If I could face someone?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, shit. God damn. That's a big list.
Yeah, I know. That's why I had to think
about
it.
Try to siphon it to like one or
Derek,
two.
What do you think? Let him think about it.
Well, he can think about that, but I already got my prediction.
Yeah.
Is cooking.
That's just a dream come true there.
That'd be a dream come true, but would that be like your dream match? I mean, everybody would love to step in the ring with The Rock, but if you
Savage.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
I've always been a Savage fan.
You said living or dead. Mm-hmm. Because you got to go based off of like what your body type is now and who the guy you're in the ring with, and I would probably have to go with. God, I think I'd go with Kevin Owens.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know if that was who you were going to pick.
No, that's
but
not.
I like Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens would be a great because for his size. We're about he's a little bit heavier than I am, but I mean we're the same size, height wise and whatnot, and his style ability. Like I would just love to be in the ring with him. I think that he's very, very charismatic and he's aggressive and he does not botch that often. So yeah, I'll pick Kevin Owens. Justin's got Savage. Danny, who do you got?
Oh, let Steve go. Since I started this.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of thinking, for shits and giggles, I would say Stone Cold. Because I'd be drinking, he'd come up with a beer, and I'd crack a beer.
He'd stun you.
Kind of go, cheers, to the beer, and give me a Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, goodness.
He is cool. He's a cool guy.
And he'll be at WrestleMania. But
Yes,
I'll
he
go
will.
ahead and since I brought this up, as far as I want to look good, so let's just put it this way: I'd wrestle Punk.
Oh,
Because
I was thinking that too.
CM Punk can make you look good. CM Punk
Yeah.
could wrestle a paper bag and make it look good.
oh, absolutely.
And then
I was
also,
thinking that
I
one.
would be the man behind the one that
Yeah.
ends the streak.
You would.
I want to end the Undertaker's streak.
Oh, so you want to face the Undertaker?
I would want to face the Undertaker before Brock did and beat him.
Ooh,
and
that's
end the streak.
interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised you didn't say that, Derek.
No. I mean, obviously
Derek's
he's my
scared
favorite
of him.
wrestler. Yeah, I think I'd be a little
And
bit
I would like-
scared.
I
of
would
him,
be
yeah.
scared.
I would
Hey,
like-
hold on. That won't. Yeah, I would shit my pants.
I would-
if
I would
was
like
involved.
to
Just imagine being out in the ring, like his
And
presence.
that's loud. I mean,
and
that's
hearing-
not even nothing.
And you got to
Hearing it
figure
in
the
the
lightning,
presence and the light
the
and the
fog.
fire.
You hear this, and
I've
you
heard
get
it
chills.
live, and it does give you goosebumps. I can imagine being in the ring with him when he's coming down, and you got to wait 20 minutes till he gets in that ring. You're standing in the ring for 20 minutes, like, oh man, I got to face this
Right,
guy.
like what the hell am I doing? Contemplating life, like oh my god.
He has a
should I
very
run?
fearsome presence, and honestly, I mean, when wrestlers, past or present, whatever, when they talk about the Undertaker, the Dead Man, when they say they get spine, chills up their spine, they're not joking. That's all legit shooting. I mean, they're being honest about it, and unfortunately, it sucks because the Undertaker will be returning to Raw this coming Monday. We missed him by one damn
And
week.
I know you kept waiting. You were
I was.
hoping that he was going to be there. After Shane showed up,
Justin said he would be there, and I believed him. I really thought that was legit. He was going to be there, but missed him by
I
one week.
also didn't expect Shane McMahon.
Shane
to
McMahon,
show
no.
up.
like I thought the Raw we went to is great. As Derek and I were talking,
B+.
was pretty good. There was no dark match, which was a little disappointing.
Well,
and I-
Roman
and I-
Reigns, they had to scrape him up with a shovel.
and
The
Roman
main event was a snooze fest.
Well,
is,
until the end.
is Triple H.
Did you see any of Raw? Did you
I watched some
DVR?
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Triple H bloodied Roman Reigns up, which was nice.
Well, yeah.
Well, we don't know if it was legit or
Yeah.
blood capsules, whatever. But
It was a blood capsule.
they released a
Still, I
photo.
mean, it's still cool. I guess.
They released a photo today of him having post-nose surgery, and it looked almost like it was phony. He had like freaking cotton up his nose. His nose, it looked like it was swollen, but it might have just been the bandage he was wearing. It looked like it was staged. It really, I think they're trying to get fans to feel sorry, sympathetic for
Triple
Roman.
H is doing everything in his power
to make him look
to get
strong.
over.
Yeah, to get him over and to make him look stronger. Like you can beat the living shit out of him, but yet he still keeps coming back and wanting to fight. Kind of like Brock and Ambrose. But yeah, they are not. They're going to go into WrestleMania, and if Roman Reigns is still going to get booed when he comes out, he might want to call an audible during that match because they do not want to have something happen like at the Royal Rumble. They don't want to have the fans going home pissed off because it's just it won't look good on television. And this is supposed to be like the WrestleMania of all WrestleManias, breaking 100,000 people, breaking the attendance record. I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know that Roman in 6 weeks' time. I don't think he's going to be over enough for fans to be actually behind him at WrestleMania.
How do you get Roman Reigns over is a question that
Turn him heel.
as I keep hearing, and turning him heel is probably his best option.
It's the easiest option. Let's be honest. It's kind of like the lazy man's way out of kind of, okay, if he turns heel, he'll get some cheers, but still, is that enough? I mean, that's the first thing that pops into your mind. It's what I think will work for the short term, but he does not
won't
look.
work.
Justin, you're
He's
saying
still in the match.
you're saying if you turn him heel, because Triple H right now is supposed to be playing the heel,
Triple
but he's
H
getting
is
face
Triple
reactions.
H is pretty much the face.
He
in
is.
this.
He is getting face reactions when he's
Yeah,
still
but-
the authority figure.
It won't work from now to WrestleMania turning Roman because the fans are still going to boo regardless.
It's because he's been shoved down our throat just so much over the past. We're not just 1 year,
They need
2 years,
to have Roman just lose the match.
or make it a triple threat.
You don't want to have Triple H be the champion for that long. I think that's kind of it's not really.
Best for business. You knew I was going to go there.
It's not that good of a wise idea.
Sure.
Triple H deserves to be champion. Yes, in his time. Yes, he's put in his dues.
But this is like 2000 all over
But
again.
Triple H also knows when it's time to lose it and when to lose it and who to lose it to.
Yes.
And I think that he's going to put Roman over. And Roman Reigns is going to win at WrestleMania. Well, we all like it or not. I'm sure we'll all be at Derek's house for WrestleMania or Justin's house or Steve's or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'll all be sitting there, and when Roman Reigns' music hits,
We're gonna hear the boos.
We'll all be crickets.
Yeah.
We'll all be shutting up. Steve will probably be on his third beer.
More than that.
And it'll be a snooze fest. But Roman Reigns will win. And
Great, Steve will be on his third.
I was being generous. I was being
We
polite.
got to remember that might be more realistic because it's a Sunday
I
night.
don't
Justin,
get one.
what's that?
I don't even get one beer.
Ooh, Steve. He's implying that Steve does not have a beer for Justin available at his house.
Great.
Is he calling you out?
I got a whole case.
Whole case with your name on it, boy.
Come on, boy.
What are you talking about, Will?
All right, we talked about wrestling. We're moving on, kind of.
We're
Talking
pretty
about
much
who's
near the
coming
end
back.
here.
Yeah, we're near the end. I just wanted to drop one question. We got Justin here too. I want you to chime in on this. What is going on with Calvin?
Megatron, the question mark.
Why
Sure.
is he all silent now? No, nothing's been out. Nothing's been confirmed. Is he holding out? Is he pulling a Favre? Going to retire and go back?
Careful.
Trade to the dark side because that is his agent.
Open up
It is
yeah.
Brett
Fire.
Favre's agent. Yeah, that's who he has. So he's done that before.
See, at first, I'm sorry to cut you off, but at first I was thinking that he was trying to do hold out till the Super Bowl was over, get all that mainstream
That's what I
media
thought,
out
but-
to be kind of, to be cool with the NFL. But I mean, it's been 3 weeks.
I mean, we got to make decisions.
We're on
here.
3
We're
weeks
on,
here, boy.
NFL draft, free agency. We got to
Calvin
know
said-
if he's coming back or not.
He's setting the Lions up for failure.
Yeah.
Let's
Basically.
continue to push this
It's a big
team
mind
down the toilet.
It's a mind fuck.
I
have to say that. I'm sorry.
Make up a decision.
So what's your guys'
Make
predictions?
it
Is he
public.
done or not?
How many more
He's
people do you
done.
have to listen to
He's
make
done,
your
but
decision?
he needs to just come out of the closet
Then he needs to come
and
out.
say that, yes, I'm done.
The
I'm
more he
walking
waits,
away.
the more I think he's not.
I don't know if he's completely made his mind up. 99% sure he's probably going to walk out that door. And everybody, Terry Foster says he's done. Everybody says
Mike
that
Valenti even said it.
Calvin Johnson is likely done. And now it's your retirement. Go off into the sunset. Thank you for your service.
Do not
here.
wait till the
We want your
yeah.
money. We want that salary cap hit. They need to go out and acquire some pieces because Matthew Stafford, the number one weapon, is now gone. Matthew Stafford's going to go straight down the toilet if he's not already there.
Yeah, like don't waste a draft pick on a wide receiver if Calvin hasn't announced his retirement. Please don't wait till the freaking 2 days before the NFL draft to announce your retirement. My God, Justin, what do you think? What do you think is keeping the hold up here for Calvin's retirement?
Does he really want to come back to the Lions?
See, no, I don't think that's it. I think
Simple as that.
I don't think
There's health.
I don't think that's it. I think that's all about his health. Is Calvin Johnson wants to be able to play with his
Health-
kids.
it's-
He's
health
getting married
hands down.
soon. He's getting married. He wants to have a family.
He wants to be able to walk around.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be crippled by the time he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to have nightmares and concussion issues. The NFL is very dangerous, and
Yeah.
and this is the new NFL style: is you're going to play 5 years and you're going to retire in your mid-20s.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing a trend now. A lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
retirements coming out.
Back in the
Before
old
they're
days,
30
dude,
years
receivers were playing almost 15 years. Now you're seeing them play 7, 8, 9
You're
years.
not the new guys that are coming into this league. The motto is, okay, I got 5 to 6 years. That's my time.
And I better win a Super
And
Bowl.
I want to make a Super Bowl, and I want to make as much money as I can, and I'm going to get out. Because when I'm 30, I'm done.
Calvin's
That is like the
following-
new mantra of the NFL.
Calvin Johnson is following in the exact footsteps of Barry Sanders.
Oh, and I miss the XFL.
Same year, same age. It's crazy how he just kind of like walked away and retired. But I don't
Okay,
think
sure. So Justin said, does he want to play for the Lions?
Yes.
Maybe not. But has he played here his whole career? Yes. So do you see him pulling like a Favre-like move of
Would
him
you hate-
retiring and then going to another team?
No.
Like
Would you
Boston?
hate on him?
I could see that.
Would you hate on him though for doing it?
I would hate on him. I would.
Would you?
No.
because
I
he
would
drug us
because,
through the mud.
Yeah,
because he drug us through the
then
mud.
make it clear that
Yeah.
that you
Don't
don't,
do
want
no
to play here.
mudslinging.
Don't be silent. Make it clear. I want out. I want to be traded. I want to be gone.
If you're going to lie and say you're going to
Say
double
you
cross
wanna be
us
gone then.
and say first of all that it's
Bye.
all about health, I want to be around long term. I don't want to have concussion symptoms when I'm in my 40s. Then okay, then come
I
out
don't
and say
think
that.
that's
Stick
it.
true to your word. But if you're going to double cross us and just say, well, I thought about it, and I decided I want to go play for the New England Patriots. Now I wouldn't hate from for that.
No,
but
okay. If you want to go play for another team, just make it clear. If you want to go play for New England and go get
Yeah.
a ring, more power to
Quit
you.
the mind screwing.
I don't blame you one bit, but I think Kelvin, it's his injuries. I think that is truly
I
what
wanna
it is.
believe him, yeah.
Is bad and as a dumpster fire as the Detroit Lions organization is, and is pathetic as Detroit Lions team as a whole. Everything's atrocious. Everything's a dumpster fire. And if you continue to support this team, you're just like them. You're a dumpster fire. You're wasting your time.
agree.
You're wasting your money. I will not buy Lions merchandise. I will not pay for
I like the
$80 a
GM.
ticket.
I like
Yeah.
the GM.
I like the
think he's trying
direction.
to turn it around.
I
Bob
definitely
Quinn is
do.
not a
Yes.
bum by any standard.
You know,
No.
this team needs
But-
a lot of changes before I can fully. I'm not a bandwagon guy. I've never been that Lions faithful guy. As much as I would love to support this team, watch every Sunday? Yes, I watch pretty much every Sunday, as much of as a
Pains you.
is a stab in the throat it
Yes.
is every Sunday. Heartbreaking losses, gut-wrenching
What about Bob
performances.
Quinn? Do you like Bob Quinn that higher?
I like
think he's
Jim Bob Cooter just because his
And
name's
him.
funny.
Yeah.
Jim Bob
Well, he's
Cooter.
a good offensive
Well,
coordinator.
a full season with Jim Bob
Yeah.
Cooter, I think.
And
is
obviously,
going to be
I think
good.
people will catch on.
Yeah, they will.
Obviously, if Peyton Manning gave him a huge plug in the Super Bowl,
Yes.
obviously Jim Bob Cooter has
Knows what
to
he's
be
doing.
sufficient.
Absolutely.
Obviously, he knows what he's doing. Hopefully, Matthew Stafford can kind of become Peyton Manning-esque. I don't want Matthew Stafford to be Matthew Stafford. I want Matthew Stafford to be great.
Yeah.
He's never
And
going to be
he's not.
great.
He's not. He's
Is-
good
is-
at best.
I compare Jimmy Howard and Matthew Stafford a lot.
Yes.
Good, but can't get you over the hump.
Can't get the job
Jimmy
done.
Howard is not going to win you a cup. Peter Mrazek, it's still in question. Matthew Stafford's not going to get you that Super Bowl.
Nope.
It's just not going to happen.
But we're stuck with him. We're going to have to roll with him for at least
I don't
another
know.
5 years.
The
I think.
Lions next season, their schedule looks weak. They
should be
especially
able
when
to-
they got the Vikings.
So you're
Thanksgiving,
saying
that's
te-
their toughest
you're saying
opponent.
10
Oh my
or
God,
more.
the Vikings.
You're saying 10 or more wins?
Oh, I say 10. I mean, they haven't gone through the draft. That's just a rough estimate, but I think they'll win 9
And
or
you
10
also
games.
got to put a guy like
But Bob
Jim,
Quinn still
Jim
has
Caldwell.
to make, yeah,
Jim Caldwell is on the hot
Caldwell's
seat.
He's on a hot seat. If they don't win more than
I don't want to put
7,
him.
I think he's gone. 7 or 8.
I say it's got to be at
He's
least
got to
9.
make a playoff.
Yeah, if we don't make the playoffs, Jim Caldwell's job, in my opinion, is over because this is your season now. Just you're 1-1, kind of like Brad Osmus. This is where you have to prove to the Detroit Lions faithful that last season was a fluke. You can get back to a 9, 10, 11
And that's
win
still,
season.
I mean, I just threw it up there about Calvin because we haven't heard anything. Predictions right now are
No,
pointless.
I mean,
'cause
you're
we
pissed
don't
off.
know what's going to
I
happen.
mean, I'm
Yeah,
pissed off
as a Lions
because
fan,
it's agitating.
I'm
It's
upset,
very,
but
very annoying.
It's so hard to watch this team for me. As much as we all grew up here, and this is still Hockey Town. This is still Tiger
Yes.
Town.
As
And
much as
mu-
Chicago would want to
and
disagree
as
with you.
much, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, Chicago's the right now. They've been
Yeah,
good for
okay.
years. I'll give them their due. The devil gets their due.
What have you
Okay,
done for
cool.
me lately?
But here it is with the Lions. They've been so irrelevant. They're just there.
They're there.
They're there.
Yep.
They're next to Comerica Park. That's where the Lions play. That's where all the concerts are. Oh, that's where Monster Jam is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then
This
Detroit
beautiful
Lions also play
stadium.
there, and they stink up the joint every Sunday. And we're gonna still go see them. Yet we're still gonna pay our hard-earned money. We're gonna buy those $10 beers. We're gonna camp out before the games for 6 hours. Why? Tell me why.
Tell us why, Justin.
Why are you still supporting this team? They've given you no hope.
Except for a couple years ago when they had a 11-win season. But Justin, tell us why. Why do we
Fluke.
still support them? Yeah.
It's football.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's football. I mean,
Okay,
it's
then
simple.
you
It's just
have Michigan Wolverines. You have the Michigan State Spartans.
Do you feel?
NFL, I guess. Say
No,
that,
here's a
NFL
question
football.
for you, and
Look, the
this is
NFL,
yeah.
that's what you do.
Big time.
this is a debatable question. But do you
That's
feel?
what they do in Cleveland. Look,
the dog pound.
the Cleveland Browns have some diehard fans,
This is a really weird
so do the
question.
Detroit
Hey,
Lions too.
and they're
Let's kinda
begging
wrap it
for a
up
winning
here.
season.
No, real
What's your
quick.
question to wrap it up?
This is my real quick question: is that do you think the Detroit Lions have a more loyal fan base than the Detroit Red Wings or Tigers, for that matter?
No.
Loyal. I'm talking like they, no matter how bad they do, they will still continue to put money in the
Football
team.
is always number one. Football, it seems to
I
be.
think that's
and
what adds to it.
I feel like the wing, like Danny said, football is going to be number
Football
one.
is always going to be number one because it's shoved down your throat so much.
Well,
It's just Lions are there every year.
I would say that the Lions, they're not the
They're
loyal.
shoved down
I say
your
the
throat.
Wings are probably because we know
Wings
that they're
fans are
used to winning.
spoiled. They're
We're spoiled.
cocky, ignorant. I
Yes.
hate Wings fans.
Tigers fans alike as well. Just
That,
we
they're
saw
getting
look
there.
what happened this
They're
year.
getting there.
But the Lions, I feel
Lions
like,
will
are the
always be
more
there.
passionate
Yeah, they're
fans.
passionate.
The
Here's
Lions
what
are
it
the
is.
most passionate.
Here's what I'll try to sum up is Wings fans. Okay, now it's Hockey Town now. It's
Yes.
Hockey Town. Why? All-Star game's over. Trade deadline's coming.
Playoff push.
Playoff push is coming. The Wings are going to make the playoffs, so everybody's going to go,
Hope so.
ooh, I'm going to the Wings game. Yeah, this is my first game in 6 years, and I'm ready to watch the Wings in the playoffs, and I'm so excited to see Henrik Vetterberg.
But they go to a game.
And then Dylan Larkin, yeah, he's really attractive, but I could care less about who wins. And I'm going to go to the Lions because Matthew Stafford, he's hot, and I like the game. No, I just
know.
can't stand that.
I know.
It drives me
Bandwagon
up
fans are
a
terrible.
wall.
They think they know everything.
And no, I'm not. And yes, I sounded like a woman probably
No,
right
that
there.
was a very good imitation.
And it just drives me up a wall that these people like that, these bandwagon fans, is I'm not a Lions fan. Do I support them? Yes. Do I wish them well? Absolutely. But
I'm not going to pay to see them.
there has to be change.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend my hard-earned dollar on Detroit Lions tickets.
Just wait. They're clearing cap space. They could make a few moves. Whatever. Yeah, let's end it on that. I mean,
Can we?
we just beat
let's.
a dead horse.
All
here.
right, should we wait on our 2016 Detroit Lions
You got
predictions
to.
till the season starts?
We haven't had a draft
Yeah.
yet. We
No
haven't had
draft.
free agency.
No
If they
free-
cut a
we
few
have to.
guys, whatever.
I don't wanna jump the gun there.
Tolik, all them guys, they needed to be gone anyway. But, kind of ended on that note.
I have an empty container here. I think we
It
can
was
just
nice
have
hanging
another
out with you
water over
guys.
there.
Yeah, it
you
was-
guys are talented men.
I like it. I'd love to see you back in the studio on
Sure.
more future
Maybe.
weeks, Steve. I think we gelled really well here. So
Yeah.
we're going to call this one a podcast. Thanks for watching episode number 2 of D&D Sports Chat. Again, I am your host, Derek Partin, alongside Dan Bartley and Steve Iwinski.
See you next week.
We are going to call this a show. See you guys next week.